Once again, the North American Race Room YouTube channel, fully associated with the North American Race Room Discord. And tonight we're going to be showcasing the GT3 class around the Sonoma Raceway, the sprint layout. I'll show you here in just a second the differences between the normal full layout of Sonoma and the sprint layout that's going to be in use for this evening. Once again, welcome. Thank you for joining, either joining live with us right now or watching back as a replay or watching later. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, find the community on the Discord, and join up there for more information about all the races that we put on, either within an unrigged setting or within a rigged setting. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, so make sure to check out this YouTube channel, check out the Discord, and link up with us and have some fun. But for this evening, we are, as I said, featuring the GT3 class. That can also include some of the ADAC Masters variations as well. I think there's a few years worth of those. The newest 2020 class was just released earlier this week, so we may see some of those out there. The two new ones are really the Mercedes Evo and the Bentley Continental Evo. So we'll look to see if we can find some of those out there. But as I was saying, I'll bring up the track guide for you. So this is the layout that's in use for this evening. This is the sprint layout. As you can see, instead of taking the right-hand turn into 4, they're going to be going on to 4A around the outskirts of the track. So from 4A to 7, 7A, and then back into the normal portions of the track on the full layout. All the way through 8, 8A, 9, 9A, 10, and then into the hairpin of 11, into 12, into the start-finish line. So I believe some of the times that were posted, at least during the week for this track, we should see, anywhere from 110, 111, to 112, 113. So the lower portion, of a minute in the 110s, I guess is the best way to say it. So it's gonna be quick. This race tonight's 60 minutes. Right now we are in a 25-minute practice session, followed by a 10-minute qualifying session, then followed by full 60 minutes. The little wrinkle for this evening is that there is a mandatory pit. So we will see everyone come in for one pit that will require at least a change of 2 tires. So it'll either be the front tires, the rear tires, or if someone's used up all of them, they can change all 4 tires. But there'll be some strategy in play of what you want to do to save time in the pit to maybe jump ahead of someone. So it's gonna be fun to see what folks do. So we'll get off the track guide here. We will actually get into where we can see some of the folks. So right now we have 11 people that have posted a time. If I bring up the full-on, it looks like there are 17 folks, 17 racers, now 18 racers in this server. So it's going to be full. Well, not full, but it's going to be pretty heavily populated. So we're going to see a lot of jostling around out there with 18 people on the track. As I said, 110 to 115 range for a lap. So it's going to be some close racing. And I'm hoping, not sure who all, maybe Alan in the chat. I'm hoping everything sounds okay. Hopefully I sound okay. If anything needs to be changed, please let me know within the chat. I will do my best to make that sound good. A little bonus for this evening is that you won't hear just my voice. At some point, Scott Galbraith, Scotty G, will be joining me here on commentary. So there's going to be 2 of us, at least talking you through the entire evening. I believe he will also be watching his own feed of action. So we might be able to jump around more this evening of things happening on the track compared to just when I'm watching it, trying to follow all the action. So it's gonna be a fun time. But right now, the software's kind of bouncing around to everyone. Anto Diaz, looks like he's from Spain. He is in. One of the Mercedes. I'm not sure if it's the new Evo. I believe it is, but I'm bringing up the second monitor software. That way I can actually see what folks are in. And Anto Diaz, no, is not. He is in just the normal AMG GT3. It looks like there is a few of the new ADAC Masters 2020 classes out there. whether it's the new vehicle or just the new livery. Remains to be seen, but there are a few out there, and then there are a ton of GT3, as I said. Plenty Callaway Corvettes, some Porsche 911, some BMW M6s out there. There is an Audi R8. Looks like there's only one Audi in the server at the moment. So it's pretty dominated by the Callaway Corvette, Porsche 911, BMW 6. It's a good variety, though. There's one Evo, the Audi R8 Evo, Joey Cook. We'll get to him. We'll cycle through him, but he is in he's in the Evo class of the GT3. I'll minimize this. Something else over here. I see in the chat good levels of everything. That's perfect. We'll stay right there. Everything may go belly up once Scott tries to join and I try to get his voice on the stream as well. But within my headphones, I can hear him and only him and not the game, and everything still sound good. So we'll get there. We are now under 10 minutes left of practice, coming up on 6 minutes. 14 people have posted a time out of a total of 17 now in the server. Rangy Rover sitting there at 110.932. Victor Paz 7 1,000ths off that time, so those two are very close. And then P1 through P5 is less than a second within each other there. Ed Engineer, 6th, he's just over 1 second behind Rangy Rover. And then the times kind of spread out from there, so we're going to see kind of top to bottom, we're going to see maybe some gaps between times. But really the name of the game is to try to race clean, try to stay on track, try to stay out of trouble, and really try to finish, at least from a race room perspective of rep and rating. It's not really where you finish. Well, I take that back. It is where you finish, but it's also how cleanly you finish, and if you finish. So there's always that to keep in mind. We're here on Eddie Speed. He's doing a little twist. Teach Swiss. It's a new name that we have not seen before. At least I have not seen before. There in the Porsche 911. So it's gonna be it's gonna be fun to see some names that we haven't really seen before, to see how they interact with some of our regulars, but then also just see how they interact and how they drive overall. So it is kind of fun for these longer races that kind of bring out some different racers that aren't technically usually seen. Kind of get an idea how everyone is. Anto Diaz there, set up purple sector 1, so he looks to be on a pretty quick lap as of right now. We'll see where he ends up, if he can improve on his P6 at the moment. If we follow through with him all the way till the end, then bring up just some extra info for everybody. Where's he going to be? What's he going to post? And he's improved to 1 position from P6 to P5. So with that, let's just bring up quickly the event information. As I said, this is the Sonoma Raceway sprint layout. Sonoma, California. With race room, there's no weather variation whatsoever, so it's going to be a beautiful day out there. 66 degrees, 84 degrees on the track. Little wind, full sun, pure heat. Looks like some folks are coming through to their first time. So we might see some more names pop up there on the leaderboard. 18 folks are in. 12 have posted a valid time. We are now down to almost 2 minutes left to practice, and then it will switch to a 10-minute qualifying session. I feel this race is where I'm going to be butchering a lot of names that I have not seen before, so I apologize to anyone who is racing right now who might watch this back. If I butcher your name, my apologies. Victor Paz, he's a normal regular within the North American race room and all the various races we have. He's purple sector 1. He's about 2/10 off in sector 2. He's from his personal best. We'll see how sector 3 goes for him here. Looks like he may have pulled out of that lap. He's awful slow through the hairpin. And has hit the wall, so he is definitely fully out of this lap. I see a Bentley Continental. Which Bentley Continental is that? Bowden is in the Bentley Continental GT3, so that is not the new Evo version. Just the one that's been available in race room for quite a while now. So it's good to see the Bentleys out there. I'm a fan of the Bentleys. Isla. I won't say the last name because I'll butcher that one heavily, but he is coming in here to post the best time of a 1:10.915 right before practice ends. So if he can do that again in qualifying, he will be P1. Another regular. As everyone's kind of now just waiting for the practice to roll over into qualifying, and it has done so as of now. So the 17 people left in the server now have 10 minutes to put in a clean lap, try to put in a fast lap, and try to put themselves as close to the front as possible. Lino heading out in the BMW. And the pit straight is very massive. So some of these folks looks like they're on the very end around the turn. So some of these will have a long time after the pit stop to get through the pit lane, back out onto the track. Reggie Rover heading out. He is in the Callaway Corvette. We'll see where he ends up here after his out lap as of right now. Once he comes to the start-finish line, he will be on a valid lap. Who else is coming out? Lino must have gone back in, as he is now on his way out. Let's just hit some of these could be man or woman. I don't know. Victor Paz, I believe, is the first one on a valid lap. So purple sector 1 being the first one on a valid lap. Purple sector 2. Now coming down through 9, 10, coming up to 11 there in the hairpin. We'll get through turn 12, around the baby left of turn 12, into the start-finish line, and he is going to post a 1:10.685. So that is the bar now set. That is where everyone will be heading towards. Mark set is greened. Sectors 1 and 2 for him, so that's not session best, but that is personal best for him. As he comes around turn 12, comes across the line, and he is going to post what is that time? Mark Sutton has posted a 1:13.2. David Wirch behind him, 1:13.6. So we will see if they can improve their times from where they might end up. Lyndon Bigman has posted a 1:12.063, and there comes all the times are now coming in. Raging Rover has posted a 1:11.9, good for P2. Lyndon Bigman, 1:12.063 for P3. Joey Cook, 1:12.275 is P4. Mohammed, he's posted a 1:12.950 for P5. There are some folks that have yet to actually get out there. Don Bessel and Bernie Ecclestone. Those two are still in the pit, so they might be kind of waiting maybe for a slot to get out onto the track. Mohammed has put in a green sector 1 and 2, so that's improving the time for him. So we may see him improve from his P8 position that he's currently in as he comes around T12. Crosses the line. And has improved by 1 place. So he's now up to P7. Victor Paz still sitting at P1. Lino Carrera posted a 1:11.4, which is good enough for P2. Ed Engineer, a 1:11.9, good for 3rd place. And looks like 13 of the 16, so we're now down to 16 racers. So 3 have yet to set a time. Let's actually see. Looks like Bowden is coming into the pit, so something must have happened within the sector 3 there, or within sector 2, that has caused maybe some damage or whatnot, where he will be into the pit and he will have to go back out to set a time. Dom Bessel here is on a valid lap. Does seem a little wiggly. Where that could be either a ping issue for him, or it could be a ping issue for me, just watching on the server. But his car does look like it's moving a lot more than it normally does for him. That is a green sector for him. Only 6/100ths off of P1 through sector 1. So we'll see how he does through here, sector 2. Green sector for him, so 6/10ths off the pace in sector 2. And it looks like he has pulled up in sector 3. So if he completes this lap, it'll be very slow. It looks like he may charge himself back up for another run here within the next lap. So as he does that, Bernie Ecclestone is out there as well. Looks like he's probably on his out lap, so there's no sector times being set. Bowden is back out there. Is about to start a valid lap. Let's see. Dom, as of right now, sitting in P13 as he put in a 119. That was because he pulled up within Sector 3 there. So he will obviously improve on this lap. We will see how much. Did not green Sector 1, so he's a little bit slower through there. We'll see where he ends up here in Sector 2. He's put in a green Sector 2, so he is faster than his last lap through Sector 2. He will be faster within Sector 3 unless it looks like he has pulled up once again. So I'm not sure. Maybe something's just not feeling right for him at the moment. So this lap will count, but will be another slow one. So he will work his way through that. Let's see. Bowden only set a time for Sector 1, so he must have gone off somewhere to invalidate. Somewhere between the end of Sector, or the start of Sector 2 and here. So Bernie Ecclestone, green sectors from him. A little slow through the hairpin, coming around turn 12. He is going to post a 113.6. So that'll be good enough for 12th position at the moment. So one racer has yet to post a time, which is Bowden. That will be an off track there. So this lap will be invalidated. So we will wait to see where he may end up. We'll go back to auto director as it'll now just cycle through some people. Let's have another look at the leaderboards. So Victor Paz is still in P1 with a 110.685. Lino Carrera. About 2/10 off the pace. That ends qualifying. So here is the full leaderboard. Victor Paz, P1 with 110.6. Lino Carrera, P2, about 1.5 tenths off of P1. Lyndon Bigman, P3. Rangy Rover coming in at P4. Joey Cook, P5. Luca Wilms, P6. Ed Engineer, P7. Mohammed at P8. Mark Sutton, P9. Eric Rioski, P10. David Wirtz, P11. Bernie Ecclestone, P12. Joe West, P14. It should roll through, but it will not. So it looks like we've had some folks drop out there at the end of qualifying. That car is sinking into the ground. I'm not sure who that is, but it's melting. It's melting in the California heat. It's becoming one with the track, forever to be in pit lane. So we are under 30 seconds here for the cars to get to the track. I don't have a way to switch off this car that's just fully melting like ice cream into the ground. So for Don Bessel, he is saying that his game crashed, so he is out of this race. And we've all now jumped. There's still a car in the pit lane. I'm unsure who that is. We've had a major switch here with the running order, so Ed Engineer is back in P14. He may be... something happened with him. And we're off. As they go through T1. They will continue straight through this portion here, which goes into the 4A, around the outside to 7A. Good shot with inside Luke Williams' car from his dash. So that's T9. That's around T10 into the stretch for the hairpin, which is T11. Some possible contact there between Luca Williams and Rangy Rover. And some flashing of the lights, whether that is to get out of his way or as an apology for some light touching. But that's one completed lap around Sonoma Raceway. Many more to come. 58 minutes left. Mandatory pit for all of these folks. So we'll see how they go. You're going to check on Ed Engineer. He is out. So he was the one that was melting into the raceway, mostly due to a ping. Eric Ryoski is also out of this race. Just never made it to the racetrack. There's Jimmy Cook. He's about 7 tenths behind Bernie Ecclestone. Bernie Ecclestone about 7 tenths behind Muhammad. So there's a couple folks that is close there. Lena Carrera is 3 tenths behind Victor Paz through the hairpin. And across the line. We'll stay in P2 for the moment. Bernie Ecclestone is now very close on the back of Muhammad as they come across the line up in T1. So we'll follow this in just a second to see how they interact. Looks like Bernie got a little bit of the curb on the inside there. Got him a little loose. Got some curb again. More curb. But still managing to stay pretty close. Bypass T4 within the sprint layout and then go around the edge to the backside of the track. Goes a little wide there. Just going to give up a little time to where he was. Let's switch back here to Bowden. Just about 3 tenths off of Mark Sutton. Lost a little time. He was fairly close. He's now about 8 tenths behind. I'll jump up to Rangy Rover. He's very close to Lyndon Bigeman, along with Luca Williams. Very close to Rangy, who's still flashing their lights. Almost like how I was a few months ago. Rangy is a little loose there. And has allowed Luca Williams to be right on the back of his bumper. So these three are very close. Rangy, I'm not sure what just happened there, but he took a very violent left-hand turn into the wall. I don't know if there was contact on the back by Luke Williams, or maybe some equipment issues on his side that forced him into the wall there. But he is now about 2 seconds down from Luke Williams. Bernie Ecclestone here, 9 tenths behind Muhammad. Dia. This is how I'm going to say it. It's probably wrong. My apologies. I see Dom, Ed Engineer, made it in the chat. Welcome. Sorry about your misfortunes there. With the game crashing or getting kicked via ping. It's always sad to see. I think at the start of qualifying we had 17 people. Now we're down to 12 active racers on the track, so the numbers are thinning. Hopefully all 12 of these folks will be there at the end. Lino, very close to Victor Paz, right on his backside, less than 2 tenths. Probably try to make some moves here within the baby S's, as I'll call them. Those are turns, well, from 7A to 8 to 8A to 9. You probably don't have to lift off very much going through there. Those are, I would say, fairly close to being full speed. As you come around 10 down to the back stretch to the hairpin. So these two are right on each other. first one to make a mistake will either allow a change or will allow one to pull away from each other. Jump back to Luke Wilms. 3/10 behind Lyndon Bigeman. Lyndon holding strong in P3. Trying to do all that he can to keep up with P1 and 2. Right now about 3 seconds behind. And Bernie Ecclestone still trying to keep up as well with Muhammad. 6/10 behind. I'll turn on the compare notes car. That way we have a active. Bernie goes off wide there, onto the grass. Looks like he is slipping around a little bit, avoiding the tire barriers. It is now over a second behind Muhammad, so he's giving up some time. Lino Carrera is still close. It's getting even closer. He's managing to keep that. Looks like there might have been, there is some contact coming through that stretch there. So these racers are fighting for P1, and there are 52 minutes left. So once again, welcome to everyone in the chat. I see everyone talking about some stuff. Dan, you are correct. Ed's car was melting into the track. I think we'll be there forever. Muhammad here. He's fallen behind Bernie Ecclestone. So Bernie's done something. Either made a great move to get around Muhammad, or Muhammad had a little slip up. Bernie's gotten by. They are awful close. Let's see. That Mercedes is Joe West. So Joe West has fallen, I would say, well, he's not a full lap down as of yet, but he's way down there. He is in the middle of P6 and P7. So he probably has to be a lap down. Looks like he might have some ping issues. He is missing some brake points. Almost taking out. Now spinning in the hairpin. Trying to get out of the way. He's going to have to reverse without hitting anyone. There should be some yellow flags flying around. People should be taking it easy. He's now going straight again. And we'll complete that lap. Jumping up here to P1 and P2 again. There is a little bit extra time now between Victor and Lino. But they seem to be doing everything they need to be doing to stay where they are, P1 and 2, and staying out of trouble. So with the hairpin, Lino will catch up here a little bit, but then Victor should pull away some around turn 12 across the line, but Lino must have had a really good hairpin. Victor maybe not so great, because Lino is right now on the back bumper of Victor once again. So these guys are definitely doing some yo-yo effect where they'll pull away from each other for a little bit, then they'll accordion back up. We'll go from there. It looks like Bowden, unfortunately, has retired from this race. Rangy, if he's sitting like that, he is probably doing his pit stop. So he is doing an early pit stop. We will have to see if he does another, if this one is for damage, or if he's just doing one early to then run to the very end. But a mandatory pit stop is required. So all of these folks will have to be coming in at least once. Lyndon Bigeman here, about 8/10 behind Luke Wilms. Through the hairpin, T12, start-finish line. Muhammad here, who is now about 6/10 behind Bernie Ecclestone as they just come around turn 12 across the line there. About 6/10 now, up around T1 through T2, completely uphill. The elevation change is awfully massive from start-finish line up T1, T2, and even through turn 3. Then they continue on 4A and around the outside. Lyndon Bigeman. So there's 3 folks that are very close. Mohammed is about 3/10 behind Bernie in P6, P5. Looks like Bernie's going awfully wide there, so there is your overtake and your change. P5 and P6. Mohammed moves up to P5. Lyndon Bigeman is trying to keep it close with Luca Wilms for P3 and P4. And then Lino Carrera right now about 9/10 in P2 behind P1. Lyndon Bigeman getting very close. Might see potentially an overtake here. Whether it's from the skill of Lindemann or a potential mistake by Luca Wilms. They are flying through the Baby S's. As Corvette on Corvette, Callaway all the way. Through turn 10, down the back to the hairpin, turn 11. And Lyndon looks like locked up his brakes. Couldn't quite get stopped and has lost a lot of time within the hairpin. Now up to 2.5 seconds behind P3. Lino Carrera, 6/10 behind Victor. Victor running a superb race at the moment. And if anyone was keeping track, Rangy has come back out. So he technically has completed his mandatory pit stop. So once again, we will see if he goes in once more or if he stays out and potentially makes up a bunch of places with folks having to come in and take a pit. So stick for right now on the closest battle on the track. Lino, the only one under 1 second, took a position in front of him. Back, that was 4A. Here we come up on 7A. And then through the it is true, Ed. I wasn't sure if there was yeah, that did not count. You are correct, Ed. So that was outside of the mandatory time, which was 15 minutes in to 15 minutes left. So Rangy will have to make one more pit, as you now see the red indicators on the standing screen. When those turn green, it means they've completed their pit stop. So Rangy unfortunately will have to come in for one more, so he must have come in the first time for damage from earlier in the race. So now is where the strategy comes into play, since the pit window is open. It will be open until 15 minutes left in the race. So they now have 30 minutes to complete a pit stop. And the mandatory rules are at least 2 tires. So if you have enough fuel for the race, you're fine. You need to at least change either your fronts, either the rears, or if you need all 4, change all 4. Lino and Victor here are running very, very close. They are now 12 seconds ahead of P3, which is Luca Wilms. So they have quite the gap between them and P3 and P4, which is Lyndon Bigeman, who is about a second behind as they come through the hairpin. Who did I hear come in here? So Scott might be joining us here very soon. Scotty G. The sultry sounds that you're used to, other than mine. Once he jumps in, once I hear him, I will see if everyone can hear him on stream, and if so, then that's perfect. If not, then we'll figure out how to get that working. Let's jump back up to Lino. I hear a lot of noises. So P1 and P2 here are catching up on, not Joe West. They're catching up to a car. I was trying to see who that is. So they are catching up to Joey Cook, who is in P8. So Victor and Lino are on the verge of putting P8 a lap down. Victor goes very wide, probably trying to get by. As I see him flashing his headlights, signaling to let someone to let him by. So yes, they got by. All right, let's move on to someone else. Get distracted.
Hello, Jared.
Hey, Scott. Good evening. How are you, sir? Scott should be joining us here very soon. As you just heard him join the stream. So back to the stream. 2 folks have now completed their pit stop, Mark Sutton and Joe West. So they are good till the end, unless something catastrophic happens for them. Lyndon Bigeman, as we're on here, is the only one under 1 second to the position ahead of them for P3 and P4. Hey Scott, good evening.
Hey Jared, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm well. I know why now you can't hear me. So now you can probably hear me.
I can definitely hear you.
You definitely can now, without me having to go push the talk. So I heard you on stream as well, so I think everything is good to go.
Excellent, okay. I'm sorry I was a little bit late to the party here. I had trouble getting the door to the broadcast booth open.
No, it's quite all right. We are,
Yeah.
what, 38 minutes left? Uh, jump in with whatever you might have. I'm kind of just talking about anything and everything, keeping up with who's close. Luca Williams here. Something happened to P2. He just kind of disappeared.
Who was in P2?
P2 was Lino Carrera. That's probably not how you say his last name, but
Yeah, looks like he's still holding within 1 second of Victor Paz, the race leader.
he is. So something happened to Luca Williamson. He was,
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe the software's just going crazy.
Good possibility. I see Victor Paz is racing in his favorite car ever, the black Porsche.
Black Porsche 911, yes sir.
Yeah. It appears that Mohamed Ali is our only pit driver so far.
There have been 3 folks to pit for so far: P8, Mark Sutton, and then Muhammad P9, and then Joe
Okay.
Best P11 have done their mandatory pits.
Right on. Were they allowing the ADAC 2020 class into this race today?
They were, but no one selected
That's
either
very interesting.
either of the 2 new. I mean, second monitor indicated there were some that I think took some of the liveries.
Right, right.
But the only Evo out there is P7, the Audi R8.
Yeah, I see Joey Coco out there is ripping around in the Audi R8. And it looks like P12, but he is out of the race now in the Bentley.
Yes, the only Bentley Continental is out,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Right on.
So other than that, it's pretty spaced out. The only close battle for right now is P1
The
and
battle for
P2.
P1, and it looks like it's very impressive as they're coming into the final hairpin here.
Yes. They've been doing kind of a yo-yo effect where Lino and P2 will fall back about a second and then find his way right back to the back bumper of Victor Paz. So
Yeah, I guess they felt bad for not including Laguna Seca in this week's rotation for courses. They put Sonoma in, which is pretty much on par for the amount of elevation change.
yes, it's very high from the start-finish line to the back there.
They really do enjoy having the turns set up over top of crests as well, as you can see coming down into turn 4 here. Oh, they're not going in.
It's a California
They're going
thing.
in. It is.
Yeah, so they're doing the sprint layout where they don't do the turn 4, they go around the outside, turn 4A.
Yeah, they call this one the shoot.
Yes.
You get a little more pace. So the WTCC layout, they have the chicanes they come into, but in this case they fall onto the outside of the track.
Yeah,
This was actually met with a lot of frustration from some of the drivers because it removed one of the passing locations for IndyCar.
I can imagine. I mean, it's a fast layout, so you have to pick your spots to really
Definitely.
try to get by someone.
Yeah, almost definitely. The WTCC layout, they have the long straight that comes into that double apex hairpin
Right.
before you go into the S's. And then again, you have the chicane too, and those 2 passing locations were huge. And with this shoot layout now, they can carry way more speed, which is much more impressive for the fans, but definitely harder on the drivers as you see Carrera come over top of that crest there, catch some of the curb.
Right. There's been a lot of curb caught just by about everyone. So
Looks like we have one ADAC. P2 does look like an ADAC car. He's got the livery for it.
yes, I was looking at second monitor. Second monitor will actually kind of tell you.
Oh, if it is a GT3 or an ADAC?
Well, it'll tell you the class. At least
Okay.
it did at one point. Now it's not for me. But there were some ADAC 2020s, but it was still like what's he in the BMW? Like, so I think that's just the livery, obviously, since there wasn't a new BMW that came out.
All right.
But at this point, I'm really I don't really want to focus on these two. So, just so you know, Scott, Rangy has pitted now. He's not done his mandatory, but he had to pit before the pit window opened. It looks like he has some
Uh-oh.
damage, so.
Took some damage by his suspension from clattering over a curb, or did he touch a wall?
Well, he touched a wall. I don't know if he was touched on the back bumper or not, but he kind of took a violent left-hand turn into the wall, and had a little collision, and then came back on the track and kept going, and eventually took pit before the window opened. So
That's unfortunate.
he'll have to make 2 pit stops during this
Yeah.
race.
Yeah, that'll hurt him definitely, especially if it looks like he took a long repair to be 1 lap off the race leader.
Yeah, I think he was maybe sitting there for a good 50, 55 seconds to a minute or so.
Oh, looks like we got a car backwards there after the front straight. I think that is Joe West.
You're probably correct, yes. And then also,
Yeah, Joe West is going quite slowly here back on the track.
Luca Wilms was doing some donuts on the outside chute area.
Mm-hmm.
So he has lost a lot of time to Lyndon Bigham in P3. He's now almost 10 seconds off that.
Right. I'm not sure what Joe West is up to here. He seems to be parking a little bit on the apex of the turn going down into the chute now, and quite some dangerous driving technique from him.
Yes, he's going very slowly through the baby S, as I've been calling it. I think he has quite a bit of suspension damage. He's awful wiggly, going off the
Yeah,
seat.
that's a considerable amount of damage. It looks almost like he's driving with keyboard.
Yes.
And you can
Yes.
see he's
There's a lot of rapid
wiggling those as the race leaders are coming up through here.
Yes, at least he was out of their way, so there was no complication.
Exactly.
So I would have to assume that he is headed towards the pit, hopefully to get some
Yes.
of that fixed, or maybe to retire. But yeah, his front bumper is crumpled in very heavily. Luca Wilms is in for his pit stop. He has obviously some damage, but
Looks like he's taking all 4 tires as well as the car comes up flat off the ground, not just the nose or tail coming up.
right. So he will be in there for a little bit. That might give some time for Joey Cook, as he is now coming out of turn 10 to the back.
Yep, he's got 15 seconds to pass on Luca here, who is still up on the air jacks. So yeah, we'll see a change of position here.
He's just gone down. He's moving at this point, so there will be a change.
Yeah, hopefully we don't see him break the pit lane speed here. He's got about 100 meters left here before he can come back online. And he will drop away, yep, 2 seconds behind Joey now. Audio Joey Cook now taking up the hill there. Pulled himself into 5th position.
Right. So now if he keeps it close, he'll get it right back, as obviously Joey Cook still needs to pit, so.
Right, yeah.
All may not be lost.
Yeah, we may see a bit of a battle actually appear here because Wilms will be on the fresh tires.
Right. So there is 15 minutes left of the pit window. So I would have to assume that P1 and P2 will be making their way in, well, obviously within the next 15 minutes, but I would say probably before that.
Right.
But I will say for the duration of this race, Victor and Lino here have kept it fairly clean. Looks like Lino has some front-end damage there, so he's got maybe obviously into a wall somewhere, but has still kept it close. But,
yeah, it's interesting. I don't have that damage on my feet.
oh, you don't? Oh.
Yeah, his hood's immaculate, and I look at your feet, and he's got the hood all dented up.
Yeah. Maybe
it's interesting.
I was trying to see if Victor had anything, because it didn't look like it. I was thinking maybe it was maybe when the servers sometimes go crazy, it gives damage to everybody, even though they don't have it.
Yeah, Race Rooms really likes to kind of hide the damage, and then especially from the broadcaster booth, you can't really tell if they've taken considerable damage or not. I've seen cars with 100% damage in the broadcast booth that have just raced in a straight race, no damage at all.
Right.
And on the other hand, you'll see a guy come around the corner and his wings hanging off the back of the car, and it's not saying that he's taking any damage. You can watch replays afterwards, and he's definitely crashed out.
Yeah, that's the best way to have your wing hang
Yeah.
That's my style of racing.
Yeah. Looks like Lino kind of outbraked Victor there a little bit in that first corner. He caught a fair bit of time up on him, coming back down the hill now as he passed Joe West in his
Yes.
ailing BMW.
Yes. He is still out there. He might have the meatball flag thrown at him very soon to just get off the
Yeah.
track.
Yeah. Might be time to call it. He's been past 30 minutes, so he won't take the reputation hit.
Right. So I've jumped to Joey Cook and Lena. Oh, so there is some contact between Luca Wilms and Joey Cook.
Yes, there is.
It might have been initiated by Luca. It looked like he may have gotten into the back of Joey.
Yeah, just a bit of a touch there and spun him.
Yes. Joey is now actually still back on and going. Lyndon Bigman is in maybe for fronts only. It looks like maybe the fronts only jacked up for his pit stop.
Yeah, he does like to have the tip to the car there, so I would agree with you for just fronts. That'll save him about, I think it's about 15 seconds between the front and rears.
So Bernie Ecclestone got in front of him, but Lyndon should get that position back as Bernie still has yet to pit.
Yeah. A little bit of pit strategy will come into play there for the two of them as well. If Bernie goes for the 4-tire change, it'll give Bingaman a massive lead over him.
Right. So Bernie is about 1 minute and 2 seconds behind P2 and P1. So Victor and Lino are probably getting close to almost pitting or lapping a good fair amount of folks in here. Oh, and as I say that, Lino is now sideways on the track, rolling backwards.
Ooh.
There's some big smoke. There goes Bernie Ecclestone. I believe that was, no, I'm not sure
Yep.
what that was flying through there then. A lap vehicle, obviously. But that will now put him back about 9.5 seconds behind Victor.
Yep. Joey Kickson on the pits as well. He's taking all 4 corners.
Yeah, let's find him. There he is.
Bernie Ecclestone is in the pits as well. I'm not sure if, he's taking just the fronts as well. I think he did a little bit of fuel there. He was parked for quite a bit. He may have to tell the guys in the pit what he was interested in taking if he didn't have a strategy sorted out before coming into the box.
He was getting his water bottle hooked back up as well.
Exactly. Yeah, drink, please, drink.
Yes. It's
Victor
important.
Paz taking just fronts.
It's important in the California desert.
Oh my goodness, I can't imagine with the heat. Just being in this, like, just pretty much like a greenhouse effect.
Well,
no air movement.
The event info said it was about 85 on the track and about 66 in the air. So that's perfect California weather.
Yeah, there you go.
So Victor's
I read up a little bit about this track. It's just about 30 minutes away from the Golden Gate Bridge, so it's quite close to the city, and it's got a bit of an interesting history. It was built and then about a year later sold to a group who put it up as pretty much protection for bankruptcy, and saw a bunch of interesting events held there. They had motocross being hosted off the end of turn 7 for quite a while there until the insurance costs got too high, and then some of the later additions, being this one being the chute, has made it more of a NASCAR venue than a road course. But they host motorcycle races here and a few other events. I think the 24 Hours of Lemons comes here as well for their events, which is hilarious to watch if you ever get a chance to.
I actually haven't, but I do need to check that out.
Yeah, they limit the cost of the car to $500 US. And the prizes are always paid in nickels. So $1,500 nickels is your first place win.
Sounds like my kind of event.
Yeah, no, it's pretty hilarious. Yeah, we'll see how that spin affects Lino, because if he doesn't, he'll have to pit still, but we'll see what kind of pit he takes, because 2-tire minimum is still going to cost him a few seconds.
Right.
And I think he's going to lose more than 36 in the pits. So it should put Victor back in front of him.
So see where Victor is. Victor is just now coming over turn 3. And he'll continue on the shoot. I was on Mark Sutton. He is under a second to Muhammad. Both of the Callaway Corvettes teammates at the moment.
Yep, can't tell them apart. Same number, same livery. And it's totally understandable. These Corvettes being so well loved by most racers, they're incredibly rapid on this circuit, and I found they're pretty much untouchable on Spa when they get into the straights and you're not within the draft. They pull away pretty well.
Yeah, they're very good all around, honestly, from the times that I've driven. As we have Mark is the closest. Let's jump up to Lino as he comes around through the S's, baby S's, short S's, however you want to call them. I was saying earlier, Scott, that I haven't driven this variation, but I would have to assume that with the chute, those
Luke Williams just retired from the race after hitting the wall.
yes, he did.
Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off there. You were saying the baby S's?
Yeah, I was saying that they're probably pretty full out, are they not? I mean, you probably don't have to hit the brake very much through there.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a little bit of a lift through them, and that's about it.
Yeah, I figured you're probably coming through there with pretty good speeds.
Yeah, just watching with Victor Paz as he goes through there, and he has a slight lift downshift into fourth, and that's about it. He's not braking at all. I think the hardest braking point of this is the hairpin at the end of it.
Right.
And that's the problem with this course is if you're not set up for hard braking throughout the entire track, you can you end up with a lot of understeer going into those higher speed corners where you really need that front end to take a lot of punishment going into that last hairpin. Some drivers will have an on-the-fly adjustment of their brake bias, whereas other ones will kind of just balance it out and hope for the best. And it can lead to a bit of oversteer coming into the corners because they're trying to keep the brake bias forward.
Yes. I was just watching Lino there to see if he had pit yet. He has flown right by the pit entrance through the hairpin and is now on his next lap. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't want to assume, but I know sometimes it's not well known that a pit stop or a mandatory pit is needed. So it'll be interesting to see if he knows to come in for a pit stop.
Are you talking Carrera or are you talking Sutton?
Carrera.
Yeah, if he misses the window, I mean, he'll be in a world of hurt at the race end. I think you get a penalty of a minute.
I know it's pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's quite a long penalty. So if you don't serve it, you're. I mean, if you're beating the race by over a lap, it doesn't really matter. Just run it out. But I mean, he can't be keeping that kind of pace, and keeping ahead of Victor. Victor will start making time on him here.
Right.
We're seeing about a second a lap difference between the front two cars as they come around here. Lino's running about a 112 pace right now, whereas Victor's running about a 110 pace, so he's got 2 seconds a lap faster than him.
Right. Yes, he does. Lino, once again, just continuing on to his next lap there, up into T1, T2.
Mm-hmm.
Victor's on the back stretch, going a little bit wide there into the gravel, or dirt, grass, whatever you would like to call that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to call it. I call it dirt. It's a pretty dusty looking track here.
It's just the desert area, I guess, as I refer to it. So Victor's coming through. Here's a close one. Bernie Ecclestone getting close to Muhammad now. Under a second. Bernie getting a little wiggly, maybe a little pink spike there.
Yeah, he's going to try to make the pass here on Nadia into this corner.
And he loses.
Ooh, late break did not serve him well there, as he's going to lose a ton of time on that one. Trying to find reverse.
That Joe Weston just got really close to him. That's funny.
Yep. I think Bernie Ecclestone's got some definite code issue because he's been parked in the end of this hairpin, and now he's at the top of the hill, still within 0.7 seconds of Muhammad Adia. So that's a bit terrifying when you get drivers on the track whose ping is that high.
Yeah, he's definitely bouncing all over the place and kind of just warping all over the track at the moment.
It adds a new level to the racing when it happens.
Yeah, you don't really know what to do to even defend from that. People are see a guy just kind of warping in and out behind, and you don't know where he's going to end up
Absolutely.
after reappearing. And just like that, he is gone, unfortunately. He has sunk into the desert.
Yep, and that shows him now in the pits, so he may disappear completely here with 100% damage on his car.
Yes.
So it could be Bernie Eccleston's race right there.
He is unfortunately faded into the desert the same way the
Yep.
head engineer faded away into the pit lane before the race started.
Right.
So looks like there's some folks with some ping issues tonight that taking them out of the race, unfortunately.
Yep. We're seeing Lyndon Bingaman, who's just trying to unlap himself here from the race leader. He's about a minute 5 seconds in behind the race lead. Sorry, a minute 6 seconds coming up the hill. This corner here is a bit tough because the brake point isn't where you think it should be. It's actually at the apex prior, so you can set yourself up to actually accelerate through to the next corner, because if you don't slow down early enough, you'll fly over the corner instead of take it the way you're supposed to.
Right. Or don't take it too far to the inside, or you'll go off the jump and you'll end up in the fence.
Yeah, exactly. You end up sideways across the track, up the gravel, and into the wall. I think a few folks on the Sierra 1 race found that one out the hard way.
Yes, yes they did. So Lino.
Yeah, so these.
No,
sorry, go ahead.
No. I was going to say Lino's on the backstretch. I'm watching him here to see if he pits. He has about maybe.
Yeah, he's going to have to pit. He's got 2 minutes left in his pit window.
It's about like 1 lap left. Oh, here he
there
goes.
He goes.
Yeah.
Hard on the brakes. Hopefully he makes that pit window limit.
So that will allow Lyndon there to unlap himself, and now you will see the time start to really fade away from Victor coming in.
It'll be very interesting to see how close Victor gets here to Carrera.
So we'll stay on Lino to see what looks like maybe the front.
Just front tires.
Yeah. So with that, let's jump to Victor, see where he is. He is just now coming through turn 10, to the hairpin of turn 11.
I think he's going to have this one.
Ripping through as fast as he can. It's now down to about 5 seconds. Lino's off and moving.
Yeah, the high-speed pass coming around on him there.
Yeah.
At least, yeah, he's going to make up 5-6 seconds on him here, just on that pass.
That's what I was saying during the qualifying. That there are some people that are in the far back of the pit lane, so they have even more extra time to even get off pit lane back onto the track. So Lino,
right,
I think, at a little bit of a disadvantage being that far back in the pit lane.
Yeah. Sonoma's actually criticized for its pit lane being one of the worst ones in the North American Series. They actually created a paddock called Gilligan's Island on the inside of the racetrack, and the bottom 9 teams for the races, if they qualify, they end up in there. And once the race starts, whoever's in that paddock is landlocked. They can't leave the track, so they have minimal assistance. You can't get back to them unless it's a full course like shutdown.
Right.
And yeah, so if you're out of the race, you got to sit there and wait till the end of the race to go home, kind of thing. You can't just pack up and leave.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an interesting fix for a problem when they could just move the paddock a little bit longer, but they decided that just here on the right hand side is for watching Carrera come in. That inside where all the tires are is considered pit lane. So when the guys pull in, they do their tire change. They get a 30-second penalty if they leave the pit without waiting a certain amount of time before actually pulling back on the track to simulate having to drive the full pit lane. But
it does not sound sounds very complicated. It also
it is. Oh, looks like Lino just pulled off the track into the gravel.
Yeah, I was about to say, the software says that he has 100% damage, and he has now
just retired. Yeah, that's an interesting way to end your race. He was out having a great race there, and all of a sudden just put it to a complete stop.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he picked up that damage. But either way, Victor now has a 36-second lead on Lyndon Bingaman.
Yeah.
P1 and 2. And just for those keeping score at home, Joe West here has, it says, 62% damage. So he is just now trying to survive the race.
Yeah. He's refusing to quit in his I think it's his Z6 BMW. So yeah, he's just a man that's out there at this point.
Right. And P8 is the last position still running, so he's not P8 or not last overall, but last actually on the track moving. So
Right. Bernie Eccleston is still flipping through space. He is well away from the racetrack.
he is gone. I'm just trying to see who else is close here. David Wirch, I haven't really gone to him much this race, but he is what? About 7 seconds behind Mark Sutton in 4th.
Being tailed by Joe Cook with 9 seconds behind him.
Right.
Currently on the back end of his car is the Rangy Rover.
Right.
Red Corvette.
Rangy's in what? 7th place, so Rangy's going to try to get by.
Yep.
Not
trying to make some time up here.
Yeah, not for position, but really just to get some clean air to allow him to try to get.
Yeah. Rangy's got to make up a full lap if he wants to catch him up in 12 minutes, so he's going to make up a minute and 12. That's a tall order for Rangy, but
if anyone can do it, Rangy can do it.
He'll find a way.
Yeah. Part of the Australian alien outfit that shows up
exactly. Yep. As you can see, he's already put about a 6-second gap on David Wirch, who may be suffering a little bit of tire wear, maybe, as I think he was one of the early pitters, wasn't he not?
I'm unsure, honestly. David Wirch.
I think he was one of your early pitters.
He could have been.
Rangy being obviously the earliest one because he had to stop for the damage.
Yeah, according to... So the second monitor will tell me when or if they've pitted, but not really when they've pitted. So
right.
At least I don't think. Well, I can double click. I can see where was his biggest time. So probably lap 23. He ran a 1:58. What are we on now? Lap 40. So yeah, fairly early into the race.
Yeah.
Or actually pitted on lap 22. There it is. 63-second pit stop. So almost 20 laps to go is when he pitted.
Yep. We're at 41 laps now in the race with Victor Paz leading the group. Taking a very cautious line coming up over top of the hill. He likes to, he really likes to brake early for that first corner. I think he's a little bit terrified of having the back end get around on him in that Porsche.
Probably correct. I know I brake very early from turn 1 in any car.
Yeah. Especially with these mid-engine ones too. If you lose your downforce, that the oversteer is very, very aggressive.
Victor has about 38-second lead on P2, Lyndon Bigeman.
Yeah, making a nice little gap there.
Yeah. So really, without jinxing Victor at all, he should really have this in hand unless something catastrophic happens.
Right.
Within these last 10 minutes.
Yep. Lyndon Bigeman coming into a little bit of a battle here with Joe West coming into the chute right now. And Joe West is giving him the corner, thankfully.
There you go. Joe West on a nice little Sunday drive.
Yeah, man, he's having to really nurse that car home. He must have heavy front end suspension damage. Have that much of a wobble on it. There's a little bit of heavy braking oversteer there coming into the last corner before the hairpin. Victor Paz overtaking Joe Cook as well in P1.
Yes, Joe Cook, what, in P6?
Yes.
I'm trying to think of what might put up. Well, I'm trying to think of how many laps that puts Joe Cook down now, because I know Victor has probably lapped him once already.
Right. I think he's down 7 or 8 laps off the lead. There's at least 2 laps worth of time in between. Almost 3 laps actually. So he's probably sitting at 10 laps down from the lead car. But Biggest thing I see different from his last race when Hockenheim, when he was a little bit out of control on the track. He's definitely keeping it under control a lot better, and he's giving way to the other drivers without hesitation. So, I mean, this race for him is just get to the finish. He'll get some points from the attrition of the other drivers, especially from Carrera and that late race retirement for no apparent reason. I think he just pulled off the track. Maybe he had to go.
Right.
But looks like Victor's starting to suffer a little bit of understeer as his fuel tank's losing weight in the nose of the car.
I've also changed the standings to now show. So all the way up to P3 is a lap down.
Yeah.
So the only two people on the lead lap are Victor Paz and Lyndon Bingaman. So Victor has done a fantastic job of really keeping clean, but also keeping speed up to find his way to his field.
Yep. As he comes down the hill into the back of, I think that's David Wersch.
Yes. And as you can see, it looks like
Joe West pulled a little spin there.
I think he might have just dropped out. Yes, he has.
Yep. Joe West just retired.
After all that, he has now ended his day.
Yep. I mean, it can be frustrating having to nurse a car like that around the track and just having the doors blown off you every few corners by the undamaged cars.
Yes, for sure. On the other hand, you've gone this long, you might as well nurse it for another 7 minutes to just at least finish the race. But
exactly. Looks like Joey Cook's starting to make time up here on Joe Wersch in the BMW. So we're gonna have a bit of a battle here between the Audi and the BMW. Coming up the hill.
7/10.
Down to 4, I think, here now after that corner. These ADAC Audis are very planted cars, especially if he's driving the Evo. No, it's not the Evo. It's got the double winglets on the front there. I think that's just the regular R8.
The second monitor saying it's the Evo, but second monitor might be off. Unknown. But it is an Audi, confirmed.
Yeah. It is an Audi. The 4 rings have told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it's Evo or not, it is an Audi.
Yeah, it might be one of the newer liveries too from the 2020 series because
right.
It looks like a pretty unfamiliar livery to me with the Skechers logo running down the side of it. So yeah, maybe the 2020 edition of the Evo does have the double winglets on the nose. As looks like David Wersch managed to pull out about a half a second on him there on that last lap, getting himself back up to a second over top of Wersch. Coming up the hill, Wersch was running a pretty clean lap. I think Cook suffered a bit of oversteer coming down the chute. As Joey Cook goes wide on the downhill portion here, so he's gonna pick up a bit of dirt that's gonna put him wide, probably in the next corner here, right on the line.
Off into the desert area.
Exactly.
Bernie is saying that is the Evo 2020 livery.
There you go.
So there it is.
Thank you.
Audi. I'll jump to Victor just here. 4.5 minutes to go. Down into the hairpin.
He's got
number 46.
Yeah, 50 seconds up on P2 of Bingaman.
And he is. And it looks like. Oh no. Let's see. The timing screen there had Muhammad back on the lead lap, but I think he's just.
Yeah, I think it may be Mark Sutton there in behind Victor going up the hill. Yeah, it is Mark Sutton.
Yeah. And Mark has run a great race. You know, up in P4.
Yeah.
I see no damage, so he's kept it clean. He's kept it on the track, still going. You know.
Yep.
good things can happen, even if you're not the fastest. And you stay clean, you stay on the
Oh,
track.
absolutely. Yeah.
You can be there at the end. So.
We made a race the other night at Paul Ricardo there with DDF, and it was my first time on the track with a GT3 class car, and I just drove it. I didn't expect a big win or anything like that. I actually ended up with racing with Victor Paz for a little bit of it, and yeah, just staying in the race was the biggest thing, man. Got to the end of it, and I was like, wow, you know, I think I came in 5th or 6th overall, but sight unseen racetrack, you got to kind of expect a win, especially when you've got people as rapid as Rangy Rover out there and the Aussie New Zealand gang showing up.
Right.
They don't have a slow bunch, that's for sure.
I'm all about finishing. It's not about coming in first. It's really just trying to get to the end.
Yep.
That's my motto for myself, at least. Who else we got here? Joey Cook, about 3.5 seconds behind Mark Sutton coming up the hill. He's kind of getting a little bit all over the place. Tires might be going at this point.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit, kind of hitting the desert on each side.
Yep.
Rangy, been checking on him. He's in 7th. He is what? He's 34 seconds behind David Wirch. Coming through.
So he's made a considerable amount of time. He was over a lap down on Wirch, so he's pulling.
Right.
Pulling time left, right, and center.
Has that clean air, maybe getting a little tow from some folks
yep.
down the back straight, front straight.
Yep. It looks like he's running about 3 seconds a lap faster actually than Wirch is, so.
Yeah, so
whatever is wrong with, what was wrong with his car is now not wrong with his car, or he's learned to drive with it.
Right. So Rangy just did a 1:12.3 on that last lap.
Yep.
If Wirch was invalid, so he must have gone off somewhere. But
yeah, a little bit wide there in the BMW.
I'm not sure who he's behind. Not Joey Cook. Who else is off? He's probably behind. No. There he is. So he's behind Lyndon Migman right now.
Mm-hmm.
Lyndon's 51 seconds behind Victor Paz. We're now down to 1:30. So depending on where Victor is.
I'm very surprised Mohammed's not running with his flashes on nonstop.
Yeah, I have not seen him with the flashers really at all this race. There was, forget who earlier, was really giving Rangy the business with the headlights. I believe they are out at this point. I don't think they're still on.
Right on. We might see some final lap shenanigans here between Cook and Sutton, actually, as Cook pulls it within a second of Mark coming into these last few corners.
I'll see. A little bit wide there in turn 10.
Yeah.
Down into the hairpin.
I think Cook's going to capitalize on that too as he touches the wall a little bit coming into the last corner.
I've done that before.
It's going to slow him down. Yeah, that knocks so much time out of your lap.
Thinking you can get a little bit extra throttle right at the end of the hairpin, and you hit
yep.
it, and you just go into the wall.
Luckily, the concrete doesn't bite too hard; it doesn't spin you out. But
he's grabbing some time here.
Absolutely.
Mark on 2 wheels there for just
going airborne over that curb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the tire walls here are immovable objects too, so. They filled them with concrete and put rebar through them, I think, because they don't want people touching them.
So Victor's on the back stretch. So we'll stick with Joey Cook and Mark Sutton here for just a second. And we'll catch Victor coming across the line. That's your winner.
Yeah. He's down to the hairpin right about now.
There he is.
Yeah. As you see, Joey Cook now within 0.2 seconds. So yes, here he comes, your race leader, Victor Paz, in the black and red Porsche. His favorite car of all time.
Your race winner, 60 minutes
taking the lead, the win, and the checkered flag home.
Joey Cook must have had an off somewhere.
We just missed him. He did have a bit of a slide there. He's got damage on the nose of his car, so he will take home 5th place. I think he's got one last lap to do, though.
I think he's done. I think once the checker goes with the leader, then you're kind of just where you are, I believe. But I could be wrong. Here comes P2.
So, yeah, I think they are
still on
calling here.
just hairpin. Rangy actually gets ahead of him.
Yeah.
And there comes your who even knows. P7 was Rangy. Oh, so there you go. There's the end of all of it. Who knows where anyone
Yeah.
is? But
That's right.
there's your race results. Victor Paz, P1.
And fastest lap with a 110.668.
Fastest
Beautiful.
lap, everything. Lyndon Bigman, P2. Mohammed coming in strong with P4. Mark Sutton, strong outing. P4. Mohammed P3.
Yeah.
Joey Cook P5. David Marsh P6. Rangy Rover P7. And then all your DNS from P8
We
all the
actually
way
have
down.
two DQs, Wilms and West, so that's why they left the race with no reason.
Right.
We were wondering there. So he was nursing that car, but going off track to let the other cars pass him, it resulted in exceeding his limit for occurrences there.
There you go. So the server has kicked me out.
Same.
So Scott, hey, I appreciate you joining me here. That way I didn't have to talk for the entire time. I
That was
love
good
it.
chatting with you for sure.
I love the information. I love the sultriness that you add. Hopefully I do as well.
Well, your quick wit and snappy dressing never cease to amaze.
I know that's what I do best. As long as I look good, then everything's all right.
Exactly.
Thanks to everyone in the chat that was here for the entire duration. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, like the old videos if you want to watch through those. Find the community on the Discord. Join us, race with us.
One of us.
Yeah, have fun. That's all we do is have fun and try to promote good, clean racing. That's what we're all about. So, with that, Scott, thanks for joining me. You have a good evening there.
You as well.
Have a good Sunday. I'm not sure what we're all doing tomorrow, but we may be doing this again for Sunday races. Who knows?
There you go.
But other than that, I'm out. I'm gonna stop this stream and we'll be on our way.
Have a great night.
Hey, you as well.